It's time for everyone's fifth favorite custom card reviewer to review some custom cards. I actually recently reached out to the number one custom card reviewer, but he told me no, he won't talk to anyone unless they're in at least the top 3 of custom card review channels. You know, kind of a diva, but makes sense if you're the number one custom card reviewer. Anyways, in today's video, I will be reviewing what is this called? Custom God cards. There we go. I totally blanked on their name for a second. Someone sent in some God card support cards. I took a look at it. They seem pretty good. Not super overpowered though, just kind of regular overpowered. Let's get into it though. This is kind of overpowered in what I think is a unique way. First up, we have Ultimate Divine Tributes. It is a spell card, a quick play spell card that uses Helios Trice Dios. Shit, I don't know its name. Oops, shouldn't say bad words in this. The effect, anyway, is, let me zoom in. This card's effects can't be negated. So it's not spell speed 4. It's just this effect can't be negated, but you can chain other things to it. That's fine. Wait, if this card's effects can't be negated, and I know this card special summons monsters, what if you chained, something which prevented special summons to this effect? Would that by its very nature negate the summon of, you know what? Yes, it would, because it's not technically negating this effect, it's just the effect can't go off, which is different from the effect being negated. Special summon 3 divine tokens immediately after the summon. Wait. It says special summon 3 divine tokens, and it gives the stats basically 0 attack, level 1 divine beast, divine monsters. And then period. And then immediately after the summon of the tokens, I assume, in addition to your normal summon, tribute a divine beast type monster from your hand or deck. The tributed monster can only leave the field if it's destroyed by battle, and it also can't be targeted by card effects. So this basically gives the God cards their anime effects, because in the anime, all of them basically had effects where they couldn't be removed from the field, and it was kind of iffy if they could even be destroyed by battle in the first place. They were kind of ridiculously broken, so this kind of gives them that anime effect where they can't be removed from the field. Whoa. So no banishes, no destruction, no bouncing, no being sent back to the deck. I think that has like a specific name for it. Or what happens if you flip it face down? Because this card, it says the tributed monster can only leave the field if it's destroyed by battle and can't be targeted by card effects. So what if you use an effect that flips the card face down, and then you target that face down card and send it back to the deck? And that way, it can leave the field. Does this give it a lingering effect? I mean, it does give him a lingering effect, but it won't be remembered if it's flipped face down. Because I don't think there are any lingering effects that work on face down monsters. If anything, the only way to prevent that would to make the monster a token, because tokens cannot exist face down. So if you really wanted to make it really powerful, you'd summon a God card token with this effect where it can't leave the field, because then you can't flip it face down. Or the Link monster, now that I think about it. Links can't be flipped face down either. Yeah, Link monsters are basically like tokens on the field, because they can't go into defense position either. Anyways, besides the whole, non-targeting flipping it face down, which is kind of hard to do, and any kind of average deck, this makes the God card it summons incredibly strong. Oh, and also there's that throwaway line I kind of just glossed over. Tribute summon a divine beast type monster from your hand or deck. You can just summon your God card from your deck as if that's no big deal. Yeah, hand or deck, because those two things are equal. Tributing from your hand, sure, that's fine. From your deck, whoa there. That is ridiculous levels of broken right there. If you just like removed that line from it, the or deck part, this card would still be really strong. I think that kind of makes it ridiculously strong. This card is too powerful. It's kind of broken, and you know, I like reading uniquely broken cards. It's kind of a favorite thing of mine. Broken stuff, gimmick stuff, and unique effects. Next up we have another broken unique effect. Ultimate Divine Chaos. It's a trap card. When this card is activated, banish it. While this card is banished, all monsters on both players' fields... No, wait. While this card is banished, all monsters on both players' fields... Okay, yeah, I thought I read that wrong. It just says on both players' fields. Graveyard, hand, and extra deck become Divine Beast type monsters. So it's just a straight up change the type of everything to Divine Beast. So hopefully you're not playing a deck that requires your type of monsters. Otherwise, this card will completely screw you over. Since, here's the thing, like, sure, you activate it and this card banishes itself. That's its effect. Its good effect, changing everything into Divine Beast type, that is just a continuous effect that happens as long as this card is banished. So, you can banish this card with Trap Trick in order to search out a copy and then just gain its effect. Then you can just discard the other one because you don't really need it. This card, its effect, I don't know why I've never thought of that before. Just a card that exists in the graveyard or one that exists banished. It affects everything on the field, but this one affects the deck too. And the extra deck. It's literally everything. The deck, field, graveyard, and extra deck. The only thing it doesn't affect are monsters that are removed from play. And there are some cards which target specific types of monsters that are removed from play. So, I guess you could use Thunder Dragon Fusion with this card out and you'd still be fine. Let's go on to the next one. Next up, we have the Ultimate Divine Obelisk. It's a level 11 Obelisk the Tormentor alternative card. It's not Obelisk the Tormentor, it's the Ultimate Divine Obelisk. He just has similar effects and stats. So this card, Divine Beast, 3900 attack. That's because he gains attack. I have read this card before I did this video. Requires 3 tributes to normal summon, cannot be normal set. So basic god card stuff. This card's normal summon cannot be negated. When normal summoned, you can target 2 cards in your opponent's graveyard and add those cards to your hand. Whoa. So it's not exactly drawing 2 cards, but you are getting 2 cards into your hand. Quick effect. Once per turn, you can banish 2 face down cards from your hand. Wait. The cards need to be face down in your hand in order to banish them? Once per turn, you can banish 2 face down cards from your hand. I don't think that's possible. Do you have to set the cards? Okay, I'm being a little facetious here. I know it's intended to banish those cards from your hand face down. I'm just kind of, that's how it is worded though. Technically, you need cards face down in your hand in order to banish them. All monsters you control cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. All monsters you control? Huh. That's just a random blanket protection. This card gains 100 attack and defense for each face down banished card. Like the 2 you banished from your hand face down. Its attack gain effect is literally just like Eater of Millions. It's not that great. It does already have 3900 attack, which is really good, especially since this card cannot be... Here's the thing, this card cannot be targeted. It gives all of your monsters untargetable status, which is decent. You can still get around that. That's pretty good protection to have. It also allows you to go +2 on its summon, and if summoned with, the broken spell card, it can't leave the field, so it's just a gigantic ultimate falcon, basically. So, on its own, it's good, because of its, summoning requirement, giving you 2 cards. but I guess you are reliant on your opponent having those 2 cards in their graveyard. So if you don't get the +2, honestly, this card is just okay. It's that +2 that makes it actually good, which might be surprising because, like, wow, it's almost a 4,000 beat stick that can't be targeted, and it gains extra attack. And you can banish 2 face down cards in your hand, so that all. Oh wait. Actually, I think I misread that. All monsters you control cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. Yeah, I misread that. So its quick effect is to banish 2 cards from your hand face down, so that your monsters cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. So there's no time limit on it. It's just, you use it, and then your cards currently can't be targeted. Alright, yeah, that's actually a lot more reasonable and actually makes them a little bit worse. Here's the thing with, like, untargetable status. You have to, like, use this effect preemptively. So it being quick effect doesn't really matter, because if you activate an effect and target one of your opponent's monsters, and then they activate an effect to become untargetable through, like, Forbidden Lance, or I think it's Forbidden Dress, that's the one that makes you untargetable. It's not going to make them untarget your monster. It's just afterwards they're not going to be targetable anymore. But if you've already targeted the card, it's still going to go through. So untargetable statuses like Forbidden Dress need to be activated preemptively. So it being a quick effect, still pretty good. Not needed. And also banishing 2 cards from your hand in order to do it is not worth it. So basically, this card just has the +2 on summon, a pretty bad untargetable effect, and then a 100 attack for each face down banished card, which is not very good. It's actually a little bit worse than I thought it was. Let's go on to the next one. Ultimate Divine Ra. Level 11 Divine Beast Monster. So, requires 3 tributes, normal summon, cannot be normal set. This card's normal summon cannot be negated. That's all standard God card stuff. When normal summoned, you can reveal 1 monster card in your hand or banish 1 from your graveyard. This card's name, attack, and defense and effect become the same as the chosen card while on the field. And then it has a quick effect where, I'll talk about that other effect because that requires a discussion on its own. But let's go over to this last one. Quick effect. Once per turn, while this card is on the graveyard, you can shuffle into the deck, add 1 Ultimate Divine tribute to your hand. Ultimate Divine, that's the broken spell card, right? Yeah, it is. Okay, so it has a graveyard effect. I was not expecting a graveyard effect on a god card. It makes sense for it to be on Ra of all of them because he's like the Phoenix one that does stuff with the graveyard. So that graveyard effect is basically just to go +1, which is good. Searches out your most broken card. Decent graveyard effect. Its actual effect while on the field is the reason there's 2 cards currently on the ban list. Like, being able to copy a monster effect from the graveyard. It also copies their attack and defense. I wasn't aware of that. I totally skipped that. Okay, so there's this card. I'll actually show this one on screen called Lyra Liske, Independent Nightingale. This card is the reason there's 2 banned cards that can copy effects in the graveyard. So what this card does is it has, 1,000 attack. And the monster gains 500 attack times its level. So if it would gain its attack, it would go up to 1,000 plus an additional 5,500 because it's a level 11 monster. So it would go up to 6,500, I believe, which is a gigantic beat stick. Not only that, it's also unaffected by everything. Just completely unaffected by other card effects. So it's immune to everything, and it's a 6,500 attack beater. That makes it like a better Ultimate Falcon. On top of that, you can also inflict burn damage to your opponent equal to your level times 500. So 5,500 points of burn damage every turn. You can bring this card out, Ultimate Divine Ra, copy Lyra Liske from the graveyard, do 5,500 points of burn damage to your opponent, and then just sit there, and then laugh as your opponent's not able to remove a 6,500 attack beat stick that's immune to everything, and then start your turn and just do his burn damage effect again, and you win. That's why Lyra Liske is currently banned. There is a card that can basically do that. The Tyrant Neptune. So this is kind of like the Tyrant Neptune, funny enough. But it also has a graveyard effect. So, hey, Tyrant Neptune's good. This card's good too, by association, especially the graveyard effect. It also kind of fits Raw's effect too. Bravo. Like, great job with the Raw card. Next up, we have Ultimate Divine Slifer. Requires 3 tributes. This card's normal summon can't be negated. When normal summoned, all monsters your opponent controls lose 1,000 attack. Okay. It is a permanent lower of attack. It's not the best thing in the world, but it fits Raw's effect of lowering your opponent's monster's attacks. The next effect, if a monster is normal or special summoned to your opponent's side of the field, that monster loses 2,000 attack. Then, if its attack has been reduced to 0 as a result, return it to the hand. This card gains 300 attack and defense for each card on your extra deck. Wait. Okay, so its second effect is basically just like regular Slifers. If they wanted to be more anime effect, they would allow the attack reducer to work on defense as well, because in the anime Raw, it's 2,000, lower of attack when they're summoned. Also works as a 2,000 lower of their defense if they're summoned in defense mode, and then destroy the card. So it's not the much stronger anime version, it's just like the live version. That last one there, though, then if its attack has been reduced to 0 as a result, just return that card to the hand. Okay, so the only thing different is it returns to the hand instead of destroying it. That's kind of weird. Destroying it's already pretty good. I guess it gets rid of indestructible cards. I can't think of too many of them that would be summoned normally with, less than 2,000 attack. So, that last effect there, though. This card gains 300 attack and defense for each card on your extra deck. So is that... I'm assuming it means in, because they've made the same spelling mistake in a couple of the other cards, and by context clues, they obviously meant in and not on. But on this case could mean pendulum monsters, because those ones do go back to your extra deck face up. So those could be argued to be on your extra deck. They're also technically in your extra deck, so I'm just going to assume it's that. And if you have the normal 15 card extra deck, 300 attack and defense for each card is... I had to do this math real quick. It's 4,500 attack. That's pretty good. I just noticed this card doesn't actually gain the normal effect of, getting 1,000 attack for every card in each player's hand. So 4,500 attack baseline. That's good, I should say. It can go more if you have, pendulum monsters in your deck, obviously. The original Raw is also one of the better ones, except for the fact that you need to have a big hand so that it actually stays a beat stick. That was kind of a problem with it. So this one kind of solves that problem, where, it still gains attack based on something. It's just that something is your extra deck. And so it's going to have a huge beat stick, and it can be manipulated. It can go down, it can go up. It's just better than having to count the cards in your hand. That way you don't have to hoard a bunch of cards in your hand in order for Slifer to have high amounts of attack. So, that's pretty good. It's not broken. It doesn't need to be, though. But it's kind of just an alternative Slifer. I wouldn't even say if it's better or not, to be perfectly honest. It's decent, though. It might be better. Okay, so that's all the cards. A couple of them are broken. Slifer, is it Slifer? Yeah, Raw, I meant, not Slifer. Slifer is broken by association to the fact that there's other cards with similar effects that are banned because of that. Copying a monster effect from the graveyard is broken. So, final thoughts on this. It's neat. I like God card stuff. and that spell card was ridiculously broken. So I'll give it a 6 out of 10. You know, a couple of spelling mistakes here or there. The cards kind of had confusing effects in a couple of areas. Some of them were crazy broken, and then some were just kind of like, you know, hey, that effect sounds like it's good, but it's not actually that good. You know, type things like that. So, you know, cool stuff. Send me more God card stuff. Send me more, like, custom cards which support an archetype, that are part of an archetype. That'd be great. So anyways, I'm just gonna end it off there. That's it for my custom card reviews. This one's kind of long. I really would love to get these videos under 15 minutes. Also, I have heard some complaints about how they don't really like the thing I do in the intro, and all I have to say to that is you're absolutely right. I shouldn't do that. It's not good. It doesn't really help the video. When you make a video, it's really good for your videos to just get straight to the point, and not to meander with stupid shit. You know, sometimes adding little skits and stuff like that to your videos can actually hurt them, despite the fact that it seems like it's, you know, more fun or puts more effort into it. It's not always a good thing. So all I'm saying is I saw your comments, I acknowledge them, and I even agree with you. But I'm having fun with it, and the series doesn't really do very well anyway, so I don't really care that much about optimizing the views or the optimization of the video itself. I'm just reading other people's custom cards and having a fun old time trying to figure out what they're trying to do. Some of these cards are confusing. So, if you want to send me custom cards to review, Twitter's kind of annoying right now, to be perfectly honest. So I haven't really checked them since the last time. That's still the place to go to send me stuff, because I can't really think of a better way, because like they changed the layout of Twitter recently, and I don't like the new redesign. But at one point I'll go there and just like copy a bunch of the decks you guys sent. So for now, that's still the best way to do it. If you're a big fan of custom cards, there's a Discord server and a Yu-Gi-Oh subreddit that's surprisingly active. So, you know, hang out with like-minded individuals. If, you know, one more thing, if you made a custom archetype, you know, completely custom, doesn't really matter. Like if you made your very own brand new archetype that's not based on anything, if you made an archetype based on something, no matter what it is, if it's a custom archetype, you know, it could be short, less than 5 cards. It could be, you know, gigantic. I think someone sent me over 60 cards. Here's the thing people are sending me. They'll send me gigantic list of custom cards for me to review privately. And it's like, please, can you take over and give me feedback on these things? I won't do that. And here's the reason why. People send me a ton of these things all the time. And I kind of do this series for fun. And I have the little caveat of send me 5 or less. And if you don't send me 5 or less, I'm just going to ignore it. But I still get those requests anyway, and all the time. So I'm just adding it here. If you send me your 50 card archetype, or, you know, 10 cards, it doesn't need to be that much, I won't review them privately. And that's all it is. There are like other custom card things out there. You know, there's also the other 4 much better custom card review channels you can just send them off to. You know, I know it's fun to create custom card things. It's fun to make custom things. But I don't have time to review in all those things, nor would I really want to. I only ask for custom cards literally to review on this channel within the parameters I've set already. So that's all I'm going to say on that. If you like to create gigantic list of custom cards like that, good for you. Like, honestly, there's nothing I love more in life than people who are passionate about something. It's just, I'm not going to review those. So, until next time, everyone, signing out as your 5th favorite custom card reviewer, and I should really commission more Akiza artwork. You guys seem to like that.